We're going to begin solving some consecutive integer application problems. If you find the document in your folder, there is a section called Consecutive Integers, and we're going to look at how to solve those problems. Before we begin the problems, let's review. Consecutive integers are numbers in a row that are the whole number, positives, and negatives, but no fractions or decimals. We talked about an algebra way to set up problems that talk about consecutive integers. We decided that we could let the first value be represented by the x. The next number is one more than the first one, so we would use x plus 1. The third one is actually 2 more than the first value, so it's x plus 2. If we needed more than 3 consecutive integers, we could keep going in that pattern, x plus 3, then x plus 4, and so on. If you read the first problem listed in that document in your folder, the first problem talks about the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 48. And then they ask you to find the integers. So what they've told us is that the sum is 48. Sum, if you remember, means to add. The sum of 3 of those consecutive integers. And we've already talked about how we would take algebra to set up a problem with consecutive integers. We have 3 consecutive integers, and we know that their sum is 48. So what we're going to do is find a way to use algebra to write the first, the second, and the third of those integers. If we allow the first one to be x, the second one is 1 more than x, and the third one would be 2 more than x. So now I have 3 consecutive integers written out using algebra, and what I want to do is connect them using this piece of the puzzle. The fact that their sum, their total when they're added, is 48. This is going to give me an algebra equation that I can solve. The first plus the second is x plus 1, plus the third, which was x plus 2, is going to total 48. You can see I've underlined the 3 consecutive integers. You can see how I've totaled those 3 values to show that that sum was going to be 48. And now I just use my algebra rules to solve this equation. I have x, x, and x, so I actually have 3 x's, so 3x. I have a 1 and a 2. 3x plus 3 is equal to 48 is the equation I need to solve. If I subtract 3 from both sides, I now have 3x is equal to 45. If I divide both sides by the 3, I know that x is equal to 15. I've solved my equation, I've got my solution, but I've not fully solved the problem because my question said find the integers, which is plural. So if you go back to how we set up the problem, we decided that our first number would be x, followed by x plus 1 and x plus 2. The problem wants me to list all 3 of these numbers. We decided that x was equal to 15. So we just found the first number. The second number is x plus 1. Well, 15 plus 1 is 16. The third number is x plus 2. If x is 15 and I add 2, my last number is 17. So I just solved this problem and got that list of 3 numbers, 15, 16, and 17. Now make sure that you used your answer to check your problem. If you go back and read the question again, it said the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 48. First, make sure I have consecutive integers, 14, 15, 16 are all right in a row. Then double check that they do actually total to be 48. Take 15 plus 16 plus 17, add them up. You do get 48. So we have found the integers that our question had asked for.